how many apps do you have to operate an EV? Well, I have 12, and we're going to talk about those today on this next video. But I think it's really, really important to actually bring up all this stuff about like the pluses and the minuses of owning an EV. Now, one of the big pluses with an EV is that it's super cheap to charge. You don't have to, there's a lot of pluses. Like, you charge at home. Now, if you're traveling, it's a little bit more expensive. But there's one thing that a lot of people have complained about is that there are so many different apps that you have to have. And I have 12, but there's probably a lot of people that have a lot more than me. I've kind of consolidated, and I'll show you how in just a little bit. But first, I want to give a shout out to Nathan Torrey, who gave me this idea for this video. He's like, it'd be great for you to show an example on how many apps that you actually have to own an EV. Now, some of these make sense as you're looking on here, and some of them may not. If you look over here to the right, I have a Shell app. You're probably wondering, what does Shell have to do with having an EV? Well, right now, this is why I'm recording it here and at night. Right now, I'll show you, I'm actually parked at a Tinseltown Theater in Colorado Springs. And this happens to be a Shell charger right here at a Tinseltown Theater. You can actually go on your PlugShare app, which is one of the apps right here on the top right that I have on my app screen here. And that PlugShare app will tell you, you'll be able to go in and search where to find like chargers that are free and chargers that are cheaper or whatever. Well, I was just happening to go to a movie tonight. They offer free charging here. Now, it used to be you just come up and you plug in, and it wasn't really a brand name. But about a month or two ago, maybe just a few months ago, Shell must have bought it out. So Shell, they apparently have chargers now. So you have to use the app, but it's still free. And it was kind of weird. You actually have to give it like a credit card and everything and act like you're paying for it, but then it doesn't actually charge you. It's a little strange. But that is why I have the Shell app. And then before we get to the top row, I'll go ahead and show you. The middle row here is pretty much a standard Electrify America. Those are some of you have to have an Electrify America app if you're going to go like charge on any kind of trip. I have ChargePoint. That's pretty much my backup place. And then when I was doing a road trip one time through the Midwest, Francis Energy seemed to be pretty big, like in Oklahoma and stuff. So I had to download their app because I got stuck somewhere, and I actually had to use Francis Energy. No offense to Francis Energy, but my experience with them is they've been a little bit expensive. They've been my most expensive charge so far. And then I put all my maps down here at the bottom. It just makes it easy access, like Apple Maps. So Apple gives you, you can put in your destination and then you can get to a location. But I've had some issues with Apple Maps, and I'll show you here in a little bit. Like if you actually need to go somewhere, they add in extra chargers. So I'll show that sometime. We'll do some planning. And that's why this bottom one right here, it's called ABRP. Some of you actually have that, some of you don't. But it's called a Better Road Trip Planner. I do have a video where they actually guided me to the wrong charger that was shut down and all that kind of stuff. So I had a bad experience with them, but overall they're pretty good. And so what you would do, you actually look at all the chargers that a Better Road Trip Planner tells you to go to, and you double check with your PlugShare app to make sure that everything is kosher. Those of you that don't have an EV, PlugShare is very similar to GasBuddy. It will tell you all the prices, tell you where to go, and it's ran by all the consumers who they'll post different comments and let you know about what's going on. Now, so up here, since I'm up here on the top row, I'll go ahead and show you now. Like Ford, obviously, so those of you that have a different EV brand, you would probably have that other brand if you have a Volkswagen or something like that. Some of you have Teslas. So I have the Tesla app because I use that to charge at Tesla Superchargers. And then FitCam X is my dash cam. It's just right up there. I really love it. It just fits right in there. And that cord isn't that bad, but some people have been able to tuck it in even more. That one there has been a pretty good purchase for me. It plugs right into the mirror, and it's pretty sweet. I have a whole video on how to install it. The front camera was super easy to install. The back camera, I had to run a wire all the way back. So that was a little bit cumbersome to do the back one. But I love the FitCam X. I'm able to access all the videos on FitCam X. I'm able to attach to that, so that's pretty cool. And then the Ford one, obviously, like right now, I'm actually sitting here charging. And so the theater, oh, another thing with the theater, it's really interesting. Some of these free places, they kind of make you think that it's charging the whole time, but they will have a time limit on the charger. So be careful with that. This one in particular will basically give you 15 kilowatt hours for free. So you kind of have to restart it. So I went and watched a movie and I got back out here and now I'm still charging. I restarted the charge so I could show you with the video, but it does a 7.5 kilowatt charge rate. So it's not going to get you a bunch, but while you're in a movie, you know, hey, if you're getting free charging, it's free charging. It's kind of like free gas. So I got 15 free kilowatts earlier for during watching the movie, and then I'm charging up again. So I've already got another 3.5 after sitting here. But this is the Ford app. It's really cool. It's very intuitive. And then I have the option to make this phone as a key. So basically I can just take the phone and leave my keys at home. As you've seen on some other videos, it works most of the time from what I've heard with some other people. So I don't want to risk it all the time. I usually bring my key. But then you also have Tesla. So Tesla, just walking through the apps here real quick, Tesla will allow you to find any charger that will charge your Ford. So it'll give you the option, like it goes right up there. So that's up north, Colorado Springs. I can go right up there and charge. So that's pretty sweet. And then there's another one up north as well. And then I was showing you the FitCam X. Now you will actually, it's not connected right now because you have to connect it through Wi-Fi. So, but you can actually see the albums, you can see the camera, you could do a lot more, but it will connect and you could download the things. So if you have an accident, or even if you just have a cool little road trip or something like that, that you're like, man, that's great scenery, and you can actually just bring that down. Oh, let me show you this. So if you're sitting in your car and it's kind of just sitting here idling after a little bit, it will give you that thing and it'll shut down. So you just have to click OK so it does not shut down on you. So that's pretty sweet. And it's right here in Colorado Springs, Cinemark Theater. So that's pretty awesome. Now PlugShare was the next one. Let me pull that up. So PlugShare, it even tells me right there locally. That's pretty sweet. It'll tell me like where the chargers are locally. And then, but if you want to find the free chargers, here's how you do it. I've said this on another video, but I'm going to give it to you again. This is like, you can add whatever vehicle you want, and then this gives you the kilowatt range, and you can search by plug score. Sorry, it's raining a little bit, but you can select what chargers you want. So if you only want a Tesla, you could deselect all the rest and then just select that one. How many ever stations there are, lots of different things. But here's how you do free, right there. Click free charge, and if you needed a hotel and free, you would just select that, and then you click view. It's hard to do this with one hand. I'm holding the camera in the other hand. All right, so, and it'll show you all the ones in that area. But you can actually zoom out. Let's see here. You can zoom out and it will give you a whole lot more. So if you're looking at that there, that's pretty cool. You get a whole bunch more. So basically, these are all free hotels that have chargers. So let me show you though. If you click on them, it'll give you the exact like what type of charger it is and everything. This is saying wall. Whenever you actually see the hotel on here, you're going to want to click on it and just make sure that it's where you want to plug. This only has 8 plugs. It is free. The price says free, but wall is going to be your 120 plug, and that's not going to get you what you want. So you go back and then you just click on another hotel, and this one has the J1772. This shows you this is actually where we are right now. So for some reason, it's doing all free chargers and hotels. So that may be why I selected that. So then there's other chargers here, Manitou Arts Center, and this tells you all the different ones. So this is one way to actually just find a place for free. So I do have another video where I have walked through all of the PlugShare things, so I highly recommend it. And again, you click on the local one, and then, I mean, was it a great station or was it not? Well, I'll show up on here. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's how you use PlugShare. Electrify America and ChargePoint are both charging companies. So those of you that don't know that already, so basically you will have to have those apps to charge at those stations, and so is Francis Energy. Some people have other apps like EVgo, other things like that. Now the rain kicked in. Hey, what's really cool about the rain is, yes, you can charge in the rain. You can charge in the rain. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm plugged up to this charger, and I wouldn't recommend charging if it's lightning and thunderstorming. Maybe that's not a good thing, but charging in the rain is okay. If you look back on here, so Francis Energy is one now. Shell is the other one that I'm using to charge here. And then on the bottom here, I have Apple Maps. This will tell you wherever you need to go. This is where my parked car is. Let's go over to Helen Hunt Falls where I went earlier. So it's going to tell me if I have to add any stops or whatever. It's not doing it right now, but sometimes it'll add a charging stop unnecessarily. So it's kind of weird. Helen Hunt Falls is a great place, great waterfall to come visit here in Colorado Springs. So then a better road trip planner, just kind of walk you through that a little bit. I guess this is a new update. ABRP 6.0 with navigation amenity search. Okay, well, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure it's really great. So I've just had a bad experience with ABRP. I'm sorry for those that love it. Let me just tell you here. Again, I'm sorry for those who absolutely love it if I'm giving you a hard time. I'm not trying to. ABRP is a great idea for an app. I just had a bad experience, but I'm sure most of my other experiences would be fine. But it stands for a better road trip planner, and it does do that. It will tell you all the different. So this particular trip, I was going down from Colorado Springs to Flagstaff, and I used ABRP to plan it out, but then I verified it with the other apps. I verified it with Tesla. Is there a Tesla charger that's better located here instead of going to that ChargePoint charger there? So don't just follow an app blindly. Make sure that you verify it. Go into PlugShare, verify it, and then also look on Tesla. Go through all the Tesla locations, and it will actually, you'll be able to see. So you just verify all the chargers to make sure with PlugShare that they're fast enough and everything like that. So this will actually tell you how many times you have to charge, how long you're going to charge. And so it does give you a decent, a decent starting point. But again, don't ever follow it blindly. And you will benefit greatly from just a little bit of extra planning. So, and then here is something else that it'll give you, since it gives you kind of like the regular maps, it'll give you multiple options. So you just click here and it'll give you, you know, this one is actually going to be a quicker trip if you take that route. So give it a shot, but every single app has problems. Just like what I was saying, Apple, it will add, like the CarPlay, it'll just add extra chargers unnecessarily, and you stop there. There was one of my trips when I was actually, this was actually the trip going to Flagstaff. I went ahead and verified it with Apple, and Apple was like, oh, you know, here's another charger. So I actually followed that. It tried to guide me to an extra charger, like what I was saying, but it was an extra charger in a town where there was also a Tesla Supercharger, and the charger it was trying to guide me to was like an EV charger that was a whole lot slower. So be careful. So don't follow everything blindly. Plan your trips. And again, if you're going on a trip, make sure you plan everything out, know exactly where you're going to stay and all of that. If you do that, you'll be very, very successful. Those of you that remember back in the day where you're having to map quest stuff online, you had to plan a trip back then. So I know technology is supposed to help, but it seems to not be too much different. Nowadays, you do have to plan your trip. The other thing is if you're planning your trip, then you'll plan a charger that that's another thing. You look at these chargers and you see what's around them, what's in the area nearby. And then if that way you can know, okay, well, there's not anywhere I can eat. So what you can do is you could just look in the area and you say, oh, okay, well, there's another charger nearby, or there's no other chargers, so I need to go stop somewhere to eat real quick, or go grab some drive-through or something like that, and then go to the charger. That's what I do a lot. Okay, so ABRP, so that's one of the other recommended, somewhat recommended. Again, and I'll just say I do recommend it, but with that caveat of just double checking with PlugShare whether or not it actually is a good thing. Like Google Maps is also something that you can use. I haven't been able to turn on that I'm an EV. So let me see if I can actually go into settings here. See if I can do it in the settings in here. All right, Google Maps. And then, all right, settings, route options, alert. Let's just try that. Avoid highways, prefer saving fuel, avoid tolls. So that's just regular stuff. Route options. That's where I just was. Map colors, you can change the colors. I don't see that I can actually do this on here anywhere. Okay. Well, I've heard that it's possible, so it probably is, to connect it to the truck and basically say that attaching it to an EV. So that would be helpful, obviously, if if I was able to do that. So, but there's also Waze is another option. People like to use Waze because it kind of tells you, if there's any problems on the road or anything like that. Anyway, so those are the 12. It's just a little bit of an overview. Those are the 12 apps that I have. Like I said, there's other chargers, and you will have to get, that's just the downside to it, you will have to get whatever app is operating the actual charging network that you pull up at. And usually, in some cases, actually, like with Electrify America, when I go on a trip, I actually have an account with them, and I get a discounted rate. And so I use that on trips, and I do that with Tesla. So my recommendation, the way that I like to travel, just being honest with you here, I use Tesla right now, the Tesla Supercharger network, and then I will have Electrify America as my backup, and then ChargePoint as my backup. So what I'll do is I'll look at things with a better road trip planner, And then I will verify that the stations are good to go with PlugShare if I want to stop there. But then I'll also look at Tesla to see if there are any other superchargers that a Better Road Trip Planner is not guiding me to. And then if there's not, I'll look at Electrify America, because the reason why I do those two first is ChargePoint doesn't have as many like ultra fast chargers, and Tesla and Electrify America do. And then, but it's just nice to have them. So I'll use ChargePoint every once in a while. Some of you have actually seen a video up north in Colorado Springs. One of my favorite chargers is a ChargePoint. I call it a McFast charger. That's what they call it too, but it's basically at a McDonald's. So I always thought that was fun. It's nothing special about the charger except for that. So anyways, that's a lot of fun. But so basically that's how I do it. So I'll plan it out first with a Better Road Trip Planner. Then I'll go into the PlugShare app and verify it. And then I'll try to stop at either Tesla or Electrify America. Now, every once in a while, just to have fun, I will actually put it in Apple Maps. And then it will tell me like how much charge I'm going to have. And so since we're doing all this stuff with Flagstaff, I'll click on that right now instead of the Helen Hunt Falls thing. Give me directions to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Getting directions to Flagstaff.
So this is going to tell me how many stops I have to do on the way there. It's saying 4 stops. So you don't know what stop this is for sure. It's just going to guide you to a random one. So, and it says preferred network not available. But then if we go over here to a Better Road Trip Planner, but this one actually gives you charger details. That's pretty cool. So it's going to take you to an EV Connect. So that is another app. If I wanted to go there, that's where I wanted to charge, I would have to get that app. So basically you have 3 different options for routes, like this one here. Then that would be 5 routes. And then this one here would be 4. And then how does that compare? Just going back over to Apple Maps. Apple Maps is giving you a little bit of a different route. And now that's 4, taking you through the 4 corners. You just touch the top right corner and it'll get back to, so you can go in, and then I'll zoom it in and you zoom back out and you can actually see the full route. So there's a lot of good things about a Better Road Trip Planner, and that's the route there. And they're saying that it is going to take 13 hours and 33 minutes. And then there is a little bit of a less. So that's 13 hours, 33 minutes. And then this route is 12 hours and 3 minutes, and only because it's only 4 stops. So this 13 hours and 36 minutes, and it doesn't even give you the one that's less stops. So I think that's kind of interesting that different maps will give you different ways to go. Now Apple, what I think is kind of interesting, because they have me sign up here, so I can actually select a different vehicle if I'm in a different vehicle, and that way it doesn't try to find the EV chargers. You can just go and fill up with gas. So that is how I use that and compare it to a Better Road Trip Planner. And but what I would do here, so let me just show you that too. So a Better Road Trip Planner, so you go in and you verify this Tesla station is at charging stop, and it's in Alamosa, and it looks like there's a lot of food around it. So you're like, okay, I'm good with that stop. So then you go to the next stop. You can go in and get the details, so if you want. So you click twice, and then you're like, all right, now this is the next one is at a charge point. Well, at the charge point, looks like there's a lot of other eating places too. And then what I double check with ChargePoint is, what is the average top speed? That's my biggest problem with ChargePoint, is some of them are only going to give you about 67 kilowatts, and that's going to be too slow for a trip. This one looks like it's actually faster, so I might go ahead and go there. Then they want you to stop at the Four Corners just for the fun of it. I apologize, actually. I actually planned in this stop, so that is not a charging stop. That is one where I was going to stop and see the Four Corners, so it just tells us. So this would actually only have 3 stops in this direction, which is actually really good for 622 miles. So then Tesla, here's another one. And then this actually gives me a few eating places. We actually stopped at that Tesla one on the way down there. And this will give you a score here too. So that is how I look in there and I verify. Then you can actually verify with the Tesla app. What I was saying is you look here. So this is something else. Let me go back and I'll show you. So this town right here, you click on that charge point one there. Now, I don't have a problem with charge point, like I said, unless there is, unless it's slower. So this, I just double check what's the name of the town, Durango. So then I go over to, it's a little bit cumbersome, I know, but it's the right thing to do. So find a charger, Colorado Springs, and then I zoom out. I can just do search the location here. Durango, Colorado. So Durango does not have a Tesla charger. So then I look, is there any Tesla chargers near Durango? And the closest one is going to be up here in Telluride. So then I go back over to a Better Road Trip Planner, and then basically, again, you touch the top right thing, it'll give you the turn by turn, and then you go back out. So Telluride is actually going to be a little bit too far north. If I was going this location, it actually would have me stop at that location right there in Telluride. So one thing I do know, because I did this trip, I could actually make it all the way to Telluride and it would be fine. But I don't really want to add another hour and a half to my trip. So I would actually go this way, and it actually would be much faster because there is a Tesla charger there. So saying all that to say, I would go ahead and go back to charge point because that would work. So a Better Road Trip Planner actually does help you, and you just verify it, like I said, with the Tesla app. You can also verify with Electrify America. Is there actually an Electrify America in Durango? So same thing here. Durango, Colorado. So Durango does not have anything. So let's see, what else do we got? It should actually show me where. So the closest Electrify America is up there in Grand Junction. So we're not going to be going way up there or anything. But the only downside to this direction right now is that gives me, on a Better Road Trip Planner here, that means that charge point is my only choice if I go that direction. If I'm running low, I'm out of luck. If the charge point is not working, I'm out of luck. So I don't like not having a backup, but sometimes it's okay. It's worth the risk. So again, another thing I like to do is I'll go up here to my PlugShare app, and then I will go to that Durango station. Durango. There we go. And then I will zoom in here and I will find. So you got to change the filters. Remember, I had the lodging and free charge. So you turn off free charge. and then you will click view here. And then on the PlugShare app, the green ones are slower charges. And then I'm going to guess that is the charge point right there. So, yep, the Durango Transit Center. So then I will click on there, but I don't even have to click on it. It has a 10.0 plug score. So that means that everybody that's used it likes it and likes it a lot. So that was several people have used that. And then, but I will also double check. The other cool thing about here is they will actually tell you how fast some of these charges were. So some of these, so what you have to do is you have to look in here. Some of these guys are only plugging into the J1772, which is this one right here, and it doesn't charge it very fast. It's the CCS1 that you want to look at. So that can go up to 200 kilowatts. So it looks like this guy did, and he really loved it. He said it was really good. And then, but this guy and the one up top only did the slower one for some reason. So just double check that they do have the faster chargers, and that'll be really good for you. All right, so go ahead and in the comments, let me know if you have any more questions. So this is just how I do it. There's a lot of other different ways to do it. Let me know in the comments if you have any other advice for the viewers or anything else you want me to check out and demonstrate. But again, I've been here charging. I'm up to 79% now, so I've got a decent amount of charge. Free charging is not bad. So if you're out and about, like shopping or something like that, and you can look on your PlugShare app and see if there's any free chargers nearby. You just have to double check. Some of them aren't free. But it'll get you some charging while you're out. So that's pretty good. And then again, start out with a better road trip planner, and then verify with Tesla and Electrify America and even your Apple Maps. And you just end up having to use a few apps. So whenever you're taking a trip, don't just click go and ask Apple Maps to take you to Flagstaff, because it'll make you stop in multiple places that you don't need to. And but you can actually get by with only 12 apps like I have. But just know that you will have to have a lot of apps, and you have to use a smartphone. I have not been able to get around without, actually, there is a way, if you don't have a smartphone, to actually do it. You can actually go, like Tesla has a plug and play with Ford Lightning, and they'll also have it with the Tesla vehicles too. So I could actually just plug in Teslas or plug into Tesla Superchargers, and it'll automatically do that. The reason why I have the app though is they also have a membership like Electrify America, and that you can use just during a road trip. So sign up and then unsign and then stop, so use it for the month that you're going to be traveling, and then cancel the membership, and then renew the membership later on whenever you actually whenever you're ready to go again. I hope they don't get rid of that option, but that is kind of what I do right now. So anyways, so I hope this has been helpful, showing you all the apps. Thank you again, Nathan Torrey on Facebook, for giving me the idea and asking me the questions. If you guys have any questions about owning an EV or owning a Ford Lightning, let me know in the comments too. Let me know if there's a video that you want me to do. I really appreciate you guys for watching. And just remember, you got to have a lot of apps in order to own an EV. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.